Hello hackers. Today we'll be looking at perhaps one of the easiest machines on HackTheBox, and for good reason. It's basically a one-click to root. Now, as with any good box, you start with an Nmap scan. Usually I like to use a number of flags. The aggressive flag would do a service scan, a script scan, and an OS detection scan. But we should always preclude that with sudo, so it does a syn stealth scan. A sudo nmap -a pn to avoid pinging the box, and to avoid DNS resolution. P to scan all ports, followed by the IP, and verbose for good measure. Now, as you can see, I've already completed this scan and outputted the results to a file. So let's cat out that file. What do we have here? So it's a Unix box, and seems there's port 21 open FTP, port 22 SSH. Samba is open. That's an SMB file server, I believe, and dist cc. I've seen dist cc before, and I know that these services are out of date. So let's check them out in Searchsploit. There we are. VSFTPD 2.3.4. That's it. There. There's also a dist cc exploit, and there should be some Samba exploits. Wow, yeah, a bunch. I think this is the one that we should go for. So let's open up MSF console and search Samba 3.0. Metasploit is a really easy to use framework. It's a modular exploit, I guess, tool, if that's what you'd like to call it. So let's use this user map script exploit, show options. Let's set a global variable. And because we're connected to the HackTheBox over VPN, if I type in ifconfig, you can see the interface that has my my VPN IP is called ton0. So let's set global variable localhost ton0. That way you can avoid typing out the IP. Check more options. Set remote hosts. That's the box IP. I don't think there's anything more to it. We could. It's always best practice to set a port to something that any firewall won't or shouldn't be blocking, especially if it's a web server or something similar. So 443 shouldn't block any sort of reverse shells. Let's run it. So what Metasploit does is it first starts a handler that's it's basically a way that Metasploit can catch a reverse shell, and then it sends the exploit, and then a reverse shell is caught by Metasploit, and then we have a shell, though it's not very interactive. Can we make it interactive? Let's give it a go. Import pty spawn bin bash. Let's try this. pty spawn bin bash. Okay. Right. Of course, user share Python wouldn't work. So this is just, there we are. This here, of course you'd admit this bit here and just do Python normally, but this bit here, following Python, is just a simple one-liner to upgrade shells to make them more functional. And I can immediately see we're already root, so that's really quite simple. Here we have roots.txt, and if we go to Macis, yep, here's user.txt. There we are, guys. Really simple, really easy, but a good introduction to hacking your first box and using Metasploit.